cat spelled backwards is taco, y'all. I'm Juan C. These are the key limes, and we just want to talk about why we do this. I teach kids a lot of guitar, a lot of music around town, and it's just making me very sad thinking about these kids being stuck in their house and maybe not really knowing what to do or how to even take a break. And we got learning at home, the parents are going crazy, the kids are going crazy, so we're doing this show just to give the kids an opportunity to just be a kid, just to dance, to sing, to act crazy, not just for the kids, it's for the adults. We use different types of rhythms and beats that'll get the parents moving as well. So it's a chance for the family to just get out there and do some things together. A-T, that's Taco Cat. T-A-C-O-C-A-T, that's Taco. T-A-C-O-C-A-T, that's Taco Cat. C-A-C-O-C-A-T, that's Taco. All right, y'all. Good job. That was awesome.
Welcome back to More Life. You know, Juan's mother-in-law actually told me about what he's been doing. So again, if you know of good people doing great things for their neighbors or the community, drop me an email to jody@jodydean.com. Back in 2004, to commemorate the 60th anniversary of D-Day, I interviewed a number of people who were either at Normandy or remembered it well. One of those people was Ruth Dean, my mom, who at the time typed bereavement telegrams at Fort Hood for the War Department. The other day, I stumbled across this clip in my files, and her words set me to thinking.
We didn't know how long it was going to last, but we were real concerned because, as I say, when the letters stopped coming, that's when we were concerned.
Maybe that's the biggest difference between now and then. 80 years ago, expectations were different. News and information traveled slower. Trips took more time because there were no interstate highways, and few people flew. Even making snacks took longer. Now, you can't really blame Dr. Percy Spencer. All he was trying to do in 1945 was make radar work better so we could spot enemy planes. But one day while testing an improved magnetron, the thing that makes radar work, he melted a chocolate bar in his pocket and realized it could be used to cook food. In 1982, the first patent was issued for microwave popcorn. And few people alive now can even recall a time it didn't take just 2 minutes and 20 seconds to cook. But Hugh Aynesworth can.
I've been doing it now for 70 years, 72, 3 years.
That's how long Hugh Aynesworth has been a journalist. Over those years, he covered stories such as Watergate and is one of the world's leading authorities on the JFK assassination.
I tried to interview Castro one time when I was in Cuba. We were playing basketball, came and played basketball. I swore he'd talk to me the next day, and he stood me up. And the same thing happened with Putin. His people, and they said, oh yeah, he'd love to talk to you. I missed a few too, you know.
Covering world events for everyone from Newsweek to 2020 probably began here.
Let me show you a newspaper that I have.
The 1945 front page of his hometown newspaper back in West Virginia. But Hugh's experience of world events began growing up dirt poor during the Great Depression under his grandmother's roof.
He always had food for whoever stopped by.
Aynesworth's grandmother put a sign on the back door. If you're hungry, come inside.
We often didn't have a whole lot to eat. And I know I kept thinking, well, they're taking all our food.
In those days, Americans not only looked to each other, but their leaders, particularly Franklin Roosevelt.
He'd have these fireside chats, and we had confidence in him. Everybody worked together. Everybody pulled together.
Even if the jobs seem odd by today's standards.
I remember some of the jobs I had, it was just ridiculous. The Japanese bombed us at Pearl Harbor, and somebody put out the message that you couldn't have lights on and even cigarettes. They could see cigarettes. So I was about 14, I guess, and they made me some kind of a special cop where if I saw cigarettes smoking or lights, I had to go knock at the door and tell them not to do that. But we all did whatever we needed to do.
And no one really knew when things would change.
We didn't know what the outcome was going to be for a long time.
Now nearly 90 years old, Aynesworth sees the parallels in today's headlines.
And it's hard to know what to do. And I can understand why people want to open their businesses.
He can also tell you how important it is to have voices we can trust.
It doesn't take too many lies for you to disbelieve everything.
And as someone who's seen so much of how the world works, Aynesworth also knows impatience can be our biggest challenge.
We're in a generation, Jody, that things come easy so often. This is not easy. And we're going to have to come to the conclusion we're going to fight this damn thing, fight it together. But it isn't going to be easy.
You have confidence that we're going to figure it out again?
We have to have hope, faith, and honesty, prayer. Those things always work.
Coming up, it's one of the biggest moments of our lives, making a difference for those missing out. When more life